We welcome all our viewers on Araz News English, where we share with you weekly analysis about South Azerbaijan, the 75th anniversary of the establishment of Azerbaijan Democratic Party, general orientation of the national movement. These days we are celebrating the 75th anniversary of the establishment of the Azerbaijan Democratic Party. 75 years ago, on September 3, 1945, Azerbaijan Democratic Party announced its establishment by disseminating its 12th article declaration in Tabriz, thus opening a golden page in the modern history of South Azerbaijan. Undoubtedly, the Azerbaijan national government, established under the leadership of the martyr Seyed Jafer Pisheveri, and the Azerbaijan Democratic Party, has been the peak of the 115-year history of the South Azerbaijan national liberation movement. As emphasized before, although the South Azerbaijan National Liberation Movement, which started with the 1905 constitutional revolution and continued until today, sometimes adopted different ideologies and discourses, it always had two basic wishes and goals. Those are principles of rule of law and self-determination. Just as the main objectives of the Azerbaijani national movement today is to establish an administrative system in which the law is superior and the nation dominates its own destiny within the scope of understanding of the Azerbaijani homeland and Turkish nation definitions. These two basic demands were realized at the highest level during the period of Azerbaijan national government between 1945 and 1946. In modern history, only during the period of Azerbaijan national government, within 1 year of its life, the South Azerbaijani Turks have truly decided for their fate, experienced their own national spiritual values, especially the Turkish language, and lived according to their values. For this reason, it is not out of place to call this 1 year the highest point out of contemporary national liberation struggle. Just for this reason, our nation remembers the establishment of the Azerbaijan Democratic Party with respect and longing, and tries to keep the memory of those good days alive. In this context, this year, 6 political and research organizations of South Azerbaijan commemorated and evaluated this important point in history with a joint declaration and a joint online seminar. This online seminar, which was established with the participation of Azerbaijan political organizations cooperation platform Azov Diranish GADP, Tabriz Research Institute, United Azerbaijan Centers, and Azerbaijan Central Party, was broadcasted live on ANT television. In a part of the joint declaration published according to the 75th anniversary of the establishment of the Azerbaijan Democratic Party, is written as follows. As a political group and organizations of Azerbaijani national movement, the political force of the Azerbaijani Turkic nation, we declare on 3rd of September, in 75th anniversary of the Azerbaijani Turkic nation, that we do not need a political guardian to determine our own destiny, and that the Azerbaijani Turkic nation and political groups and organizations are fully politically mature. In this case, we choose to struggle for the rights to self-determination by choosing democratic methods and the rights to legitimate self-defense. Azerbaijan's territorial integrity, national and regional interests are South Azerbaijan's red line, and just as a progressive charter of September 3, 1945 led to establishment of the legitimate and national government in Azerbaijan, the existing unity and rapprochement between Azerbaijani political groups and organizations in overcoming oppression and fascism, and therefore we think it is a very important step in freeing oneself from the shackles of colonialism. We are convinced that backwards dictators, fascist and centrist undemocratic oppositions of the Islamic Republic are very angry about the unity and solidarity of national movement organizations, but tomorrow we choose to work together to build a free and democratic Azerbaijan and determine our national destiny. As emphasized in the first part of the program and in the joint declaration published, the main aspects of our national liberation movement have been the same during its 115 years life, even though its form and discourse are sometimes different. The Azerbaijani Turkish nation wants to establish an administration where law is superior to everything and where it dominates its own destiny. Of course, these two wishes reflect themselves in the context of the Azerbaijani homeland and the Turkish nation definitions. Unfortunately, all of the nation objections we have put forward in our contemporary history, namely the constitutional reform, Hiyabani movement, the national government and the Muslim People's Republican Party were suppressed with blood by the fascist and reactionary forces of Iran. Therefore, our country and our nation were colonized and paid incredible costs. However, today, unlike previous years, national consciousness have risen to the level that have never been seen in the history of Turkish societies living in the South Azerbaijan and in other regions of Iran, and the domestic and regional balances have started to change in favor of the national interests. For this reason, the Turkish nation, which constitutes 40% of the Iranian population in general, are more ready and willing than ever to regain their rights. The purpose is the same: the rule of law and the self-management system in which the Turkish nation dominates its own destiny. It was all for the analysis about South Azerbaijan. See you next week on Araz News English.